When we think about a fruitful life, it can sound really nice, can't it? We all want a fruitful life in word, at least, because it's an appealing idea to be fruitful for God. But one of the things that was really felt impressed on me this morning was remembering a preach that I listened to a while back by Tim Keller, and he was talking about the message was called Active Discipline, if you want to look it up. And he was talking about Amos, the prophet Amos, who was a bruiser of sycamore fruit. So his job was to strike the fruit to help it to ripen. And Tim Keller says there are some fruit of the Spirit that will only develop when they're struck. And I was just reading a little bit of Amos's words here. So I'm just going to sort of dive into chapter 4 because we get a sense of what God is longing for. It's entitled, Israel Has Not Returned to the Lord. And he says, I gave you cleanness of teeth in all your cities and a lack of bread in all your places, yet you did not return to me, declares the Lord. I also withheld the rain from you when there was yet 3 months to the harvest. I would send rain on one city and send no rain on another city. One field would have rain, and the field on which it did not rain would wither. So 2 or 3 cities would wander to another city to drink water, and would not be satisfied. Yet you did not return to me, declares the Lord. I struck you with blight and mildew, your many gardens and your vineyards, your fig trees and your olive trees, the locust devoured. Yet you did not return to me, declares the Lord. I sent among you a pestilence after the manner of Egypt, and killed your young men with the sword, and carried away your horses, and I made the stench of your camp go up into your nostrils. Yet you did not return to me, declares the Lord. And so it goes on. And you get this sense of there being really difficult circumstances. But what does God long for his beloved people? He longs for their hearts to return to him. And that was just reminding me that, God as a good father is a God of discipline. And just want to read some of Hebrews 12. Excuse the croaky voice. Hebrews 12 from verse 5. And I'm reading from the Amplified, so it will be a bit wordy. And have you completely forgotten the divine word of appeal and encouragement in which you are reasoned with and addressed as sons? My son, do not think lightly or scorn to submit to the correction and discipline of the Lord, nor lose courage and give up and faint when you are reproved or corrected by him. For the Lord corrects and disciplines everyone whom he loves, and he punishes, even scourges, every son whom he accepts and welcomes to his heart and cherishes. You must submit to and endure correction for discipline. God is dealing with you as with sons. For what son is there whom his father does not thus train and correct and discipline? Now, if you are exempt from correction and left without discipline, in which all of God's children share, then you are illegitimate offspring and not true sons at all. Moreover, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we yielded to them and respected them for training us. Shall we not much more cheerfully submit to the Father of spirits and so truly live? For our earthly fathers disciplined us for a short period of time and chastised us as seemed proper and good to them. But he disciplines us for our certain good, that we may become sharers in his holiness. For the time being, no discipline brings joy, but seems grievous and painful. But afterwards it yields a peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it, a harvest of fruit which consists in righteousness, in conformity to God's will, in purpose, thought, and action. resulting in right living and right standing with God. And the thing on my mind this morning, and this is a really personal thing that I'm sharing as well, my life circumstances often make me so uncomfortable that I cry out to God and say, how long, Lord, will you deliver me from these? And if I was given a choice between living an easier life and a fruitful life, the honest truth is I would choose an easier life. I would. But I know that in the discipline of my family circumstances and the difficulties we face, God is allowing me to be fruitful. And going back to the Amos point, it's because being in hard situations where I feel overwhelmed or that I can't cope throws me on God. So I would encourage you today, if you're finding it hard, throw yourself on God.